come to lie on your backs for me. We're going to set up in our rest position and get those tummies nice and strong. So to begin with though, we're going to work on a little bit of stability, and let's just remind ourselves of how we do set up in our rest position. So if you've got a little pillow, you can rest your head on your pillow, or you just rest your head on your mat. We've got our knees bent and our feet hip distance apart. And then just make sure your feet, your knees and your hips are all lined up. Knees aren't knocked in together or flared out to the side. You've got that nice parallel line along the legs. And then bring your focus to your waist. Don't forget to mute your microphones, guys, if you've just joined. Okay, so just that focus on your waist. Imagine there's a little sponge in the small of your back, and you're just gently pressing into that sponge. Feels really lovely just to roll off your pelvis, gently pressing the small of your spine into the mat, and then ease away just to release the pressure off your sponge. So we're just doing a little bit of what we call pelvic tilting. So again, just rolling on and off that sponge. Hold it for as long as you feel you want to, and then ease away. And as you gently press down, you should feel kind of a little bit more work in your tummy as you're flattening your lower back. Okay, and then just come to a position where you're kind of in between those 2 points. So you've got that little sponge still, gentle pressure on that sponge, but not completely flattening it. And then from here, just place your hands just below your belly button, so fingers just below your belly button. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, let's work the pelvic floor. So ladies, gently drawing your back passage towards your front passage, like the zip of your trousers, and then bringing that zip up through towards your belly button. Trying to keep your bottom nice and relaxed, so it's all the pelvic floor. Whereas gents, just think about bringing that draw right from the bottom all the way up to the top. So it's more of a drawing up. Ladies, it's more of a scooping up and round. So continue to hold that pelvic floor as you breathe deeply, and you should feel a sense of sort of tensioning underneath your fingertips. Only working sort of 50%, it's not a big brace, it's just a little switch on of those deeper muscles, just remembering where they are, and then just release that tension from your pelvic floor. And again, breathe in, and as you breathe out, work through that pelvic floor contraction. Imagine you're going up an escalator, but you're just hovering at the middle of that escalator. So you're not at the top floor, you're just somewhere halfway. It's been a long time since I've been on an escalator. Okay, and then relax. Then bring your focus up towards your rib cage. You can use your hands if it helps, just to melt your rib cage down towards your waist. And as you do that, just feel that upper tummy engaging a little bit more. And then just place your hands on your shoulders and just draw your shoulders down away from your ears and feel your shoulder blades connect a little bit more in with the mat. And then finally, I want you to imagine your head is resting on a nice glossy magazine, one of those gossip ones maybe, and you're just sliding the back of your head up towards the top of your mat along that magazine and gently drawing your chin towards your chest. So we've got a lovely setup there from head to toe, and we're going to try and maintain all those key points, but don't worry if you come out of them a little bit. Okay, so we're going to start with hip twists. So imagine that you've got a tray of drinks resting on your waist. A nice fancy, you know, you've got a big round in for all your friends that first time you go out after coronavirus. So that tray's really full. You're going to take one of those tray drinks and you're going to place it on your right knee. So we're keeping the right knee steady, and we're going to let the left knee roll out to the side. So that knee floats out, but focus more on keeping that right knee steady with your drink and your tray of drinks on your waist nice and steady. And then draw that left knee back in, and then swap sides. So bring that single drink, place it on your left knee, and now let your right knee drop out to the side. So it's all about stability. It's not about how far that knee can roll. And we're going to build on this stability to add some strength shortly. But let's really take some time to focus in on that control. Super slow, allowing that knee to roll out to the side and draw back in again. I'm just going to swivel round. So I'm dressed all in black and you can't really see what I'm doing. So this knee stays still as this knee rolls out to the side. If you're not sure that you're maintaining that stability, you can just place your hands underneath your bottom, and as your knee rolls out to the side, the opposite hip, make sure that you're maintaining that same amount of pressure into your bottom. So if your hip is rolling away, you'll notice that you sort of lift off that hand. So keep it going super slow, and it is a really slow and controlled movement, so you can really monitor for any spillings on your trays of drinks, and also that single drink that's resting on your knee. Keep it going. I'm going to come and see how you're doing. Hip twist level 1, a really nice one just to work on control. Oh, these look good. Yeah, keep it going. Lovely. Let's do one more on each side. Well done, everyone. And make sure that drawing back in is as slow as that rolling out. Okay, let's add some abdominal strength now. This is optional. We're all going to focus on the left leg. So the left leg is going to float out to the side. We're then going to interlace the fingers, support behind the head. We're going to add our abdo prep. So that rib cage slides down towards the waist to help the head and shoulders float off the mat. And then we smooth the spine back down again and draw the knee back to the center. Repeat on that left side. So hip twist to the left, float the leg out, don't spill your drink on your right knee, slide the rib cage down, allow that rib cage connection to your waist to be the thing that lifts your head and shoulders off the mat. Your neck should feel nice and relaxed. Make sure your head rests heavy into the support of your hands, and if you don't feel like you need your hands, you can reach down towards the sides of your legs as your head and shoulder comes up. Okay, let's do 2 more on that left side. So left leg rolls out, we roll up into abdo prep, keeping a nice space between your chin and your chest for your peach to rest. And one more, so hip twist out and we reach down. Good. Okay, swap sides now. So right leg comes into hip twist, left leg stays stable, and we add that abdo prep. Abdo prep is an option. If it feels like it's too much for you, then just work on that lovely hip twist. Okay, we're going to do 6 with that right leg. Really still thinking of that tray of drinks. We've got 3 more, or thereabouts. And for those of you that want to add in your breath, a breath out will float your head and shoulders off the mat. So that kind of effort through your exhale, and then inhale to lower down. Okay, one more. Good work, guys. Super slow, so we can really focus on control this evening. Bring your hands back down to your side, and we're going to work into our double tabletop prep. So float one leg up into tabletop. That's where we stack the knee over the hip at a 90-degree angle. Gently draw the rib cage down towards the waist as if you're going to abdo prep, but we're keeping the head and shoulders down so we can lift the opposite leg up. We hold it for a breath, and then we slowly lower one leg down at a time. Think back to that little sponge in the small of your back. Keep the pressure the same on your sponge. Repeat, starting with the opposite leg. Use that gentle press down with the rib cage to bring the second leg in. If you notice when you lift those legs up that your back is really struggling to stay sort of stable, and it's really arching off the mat, then just slow it down and work on a single tabletop. But I think we're all good with our double tabletop. Super slow, you've still got that tray of drinks resting on your waist. So as those legs come in and out of tabletop, don't spill those drinks. I'm coming to see you. Nice, Lauren, looking good. Good, George, looks strong. Well done, Helen. Lovely, Afshin. Okay, so option 1 here is we can just practice holding that double tabletop position. Okay, and for those of you that are lying next to a chair or your sofa, if your legs get a little bit tired, you can just prop your heels down on the seat of the chair and then lift them back up and practice holding that position. But for those of you that want to, come with me, we're going to add our hip twist from here. So that tray of drinks is still on your waist, and now you're resting it on a floating leg, that's a single drink, and you're going to take the opposite leg out to the side. Now, if I glance down towards your leg, make sure your foot stays behind your knee. If you're twisting at the hip, you'll be able to see your foot. You want to hide that foot behind it. Let's swap sides. So we're swapping over to the opposite side. Good, and just alternate from left to right. Now remember, those hands can sneak underneath your hips, and make sure you're maintaining that pressure as you float in and out of hip twist. Now if those hips get a little bit sore, especially if they feel like they're kind of pinching around your groin, just hug your knees towards your chest and reset. Now remember, you could just practice holding your double tabletop, and that's going to give you a nice strong foundation to progress onto these higher level double tabletop moves. Otherwise, keep alternating left to right with those hip twists. Good work, guys, looking strong. Okay, now we're going to add the abdo prep back in. So as we float the leg out, we float the head and shoulders off the mat, we peel down and we draw the leg back in. Now if you're not working on hip twist, you could work on double tabletop and just add that abdo prep. So you're here and you're floating the head and shoulders up. Okay, so lots of options there. If you're working with that little twist at the hip, alternate from side to side. I'm coming to see you, so show me what you're doing. It's looking good. A little bit slower than usual, guys, this evening, but we can really focus in on our technique. Beautiful, Julia, looks good. Well done, Ivana. Don't fall down the stairs. That's a precarious place to do Pilates. Well done. Lovely, Liz. Feet look good. Okay, one more on each side. We've all gone for that higher level. I'm very impressed. Always remember that little exhale. Float those head and shoulders back up. Okay, and hug your knees towards your chest. You probably need it. Okay, final hip twist. We've got 2 levels. Level 1 is going to focus in more on mobility, getting your backs moving a little bit. And that's the one where we bring our feet and knees together, reach our hands towards the sides, and just let the knees drop from side to side. Let's all do that one because it feels really nice just to open up the backs. Okay, so this is your first option. Pick this option if you don't want to challenge yourself anymore with this hip twist sequence, and you're going to get a lovely benefit from stretching and lengthening. For those of you that want to work a little bit harder or a lot harder, we're going to come back into our double tabletop, but then we're going to lengthen the feet up towards the ceiling. So we get a nice long stretch along the back of the legs. Squeeze the fronts of the thighs to help you do that. We engage these muscles to release these muscles. Hands out to the side, and imagine those windscreen wipers on the front of your car, sweeping across towards the side. Now, as you go, you are going to feel your opposite hip lift. That's absolutely fine, but your challenge is to not let your feet drop down towards the floor. Take them as low as you can, and then sweep your legs back up towards the ceiling and go the opposite way. I'm not sure I've got enough room. I haven't, so I'm going to cheat and rest my feet here. Okay, we don't need to do too many of these because long legs are heavy legs. Long legs are going to really wind up those tummy muscles. Really feel the opposite side of the back working hard to lengthen and control as you lower your legs towards the floor. Now, for those of you that are doing your hip twist with your feet on the floor, beautiful work. If you want to have a feel of kind of what this inversion feels like, you could maybe just practice holding your feet above your hips in that long leg position, and you'll get a nice return of blood supply from your feet towards your heart, which should give you a little bit of energy. Okay, wherever you're at, we've got one more on each side. Good work. And then hug the knees towards the chest. Well done. Okay, so you can probably feel from the hip twist, we're working those cross slings over the body, the ones that run kind of rib cage towards the opposite side. Now we're going to work the more kind of superficial tummy muscles with our scissors exercise. So come back to your rest position. Think about that little sponge in the small of your spine, because from here, we're going to float one leg up into tabletop. Now, I know you guys know what you're doing here, so we're going to scissor these legs straight away. So alternate left and right. As one leg floats up, the other leg lowers. And your focus point is to keep the same pressure on that little sponge in the small of your back. All about maintaining that pelvic stability as those legs float in and out of tabletop. Okay, for those of you that took that challenge with your hip twist, that windscreen wiper, see now if you can straighten both legs. And then you're going to do long scissors. So you're lengthening one leg, foot down towards the mat, and then switch. Now, if this feels kind of clunky in your hips at all, bend your knees ever so slightly, or come back down to that kind of lower scissors option. You still get the same benefit. Good work. Keep switching. We're here for 10, 9, nice Lauren, 8, 7, good work Lise, 6, 5, well done Lydia, I can just see legs in the air, 4, 3, 2 and 1, well done. Hug those knees towards your chest. Whew. Good work. Okay, that's tummy's finished, and when you're ready we're just going to do a little bit of rolling like the ball just to bring us back to sit. So just begin to rock forwards and backwards on your spine. Try not to let your feet touch down as you come up. That's a little challenge with this one. Couple more. Lovely, just to massage through the back this one, and then bring yourself to sit. So we're going to sit with our legs sort of swept over to one side. So you've got one foot in front and one foot behind. I hope that makes sense. Those of you that know the class should know that quite well. So you're going to reach over to the opposite side. So if your feet are going towards your right, you'll reach over to your left and vice versa. So from here, let's take it into mermaid stretch. It's a really nice way of opening up all the side line of the body. As you're here, just slide that shoulder blade down away from your ears. You don't want that neck to be closed over. You want it nice and open, and just allow your body to follow a diagonal line, nose to chest to belly button. And push into the heel of your hand that's on the mat, and you should just feel the side of your body open up a little bit more. Good, let's take it to thread the needle. So we're going to take that top hand and we're going to pass it in the space that we've created between our body and the mat, and we're going to look behind us. Feel that body open up. Good stuff. Let's do one more mermaid, up and over. Very nice, remembering to breathe. Now's the time to reconnect with your breath and then pass through that little space. I just love that, really opens up through the middle of the spine. Okay, so we're going to reach down onto this forearm now. So we're leaning onto the mat. So your elbow is beneath your shoulders. And then if you just bring your legs beneath you, so you've got legs bent. So we're going to work into our side bend here. So I'll show you all option 1 and then we can build through. So side bend is all about strengthening the muscles along the side of the body. But we need to be strong through these arms as well. So push through the forearms. I lied, I said there was no shoulders. This is very shoulder heavy. But yeah, so push through the arms so that you're pushing your ribcage away from your mat. And then imagine that someone's got a piece of string along the top of your waistband and they're just lifting your waistband up towards the ceiling. So you're opening the space underneath your body. Nice arch and then lower down. And then just repeat. So it's just a lovely lift and lower, and you're trying to keep again that line through the spine as you lift and lower. Now if the shoulder gets a little bit upset about this, just sit away, give it a roll and then join back in. So I said I was going to give you options, so here's your option 1. Option 2, we stretch the top leg away. Okay, so you're just reducing your base of support. Option 3, we lift that top leg, so it's all that bottom leg that's doing the work. Whatever option you're doing, you're working beautifully hard. So we're going to hold this next one. Yeah, give those shoulders a roll. Hold. And then we're going to take it to a pulse. So we're not coming all the way down. We're going halfway down and back up. Halfway down and back up. Remember, you could come back down to that first option where both knees are bent. Second option where the top leg's straight but touching towards the mat, or the third option. But whatever we're doing, we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Bend down and just take yourself off that shoulder. Oh, there's a little bit of a kicker for you. Get that heart rate going. Okay, back in that side prop position. This time, rather than working the underside of the body, we're working the top side of the body. So we're going to stretch that top leg away and really focus on lengthening your body. So when I don't have a nice long body, you can see I've lost that shoulder position, I've lost that rib cage. When I push through my arm and I stretch my foot away from me, I've not moved this at all, but it's created that lovely space. Okay, and then from here, we're simply going to do our leg lifts. So we float that top leg just up to hip height, not higher. And you're really working on keeping this lovely stability here. So you're not using a hitch to get that leg lifted. You're using those hips, those lovely muscles on the outside of your hip. Now, if that feels like too much and your hip's screaming at you, go back to a bent leg and lift that leg with the knee bent. We know that shorter levers give us less work. Okay, we've got 3 more, 2 more. We're going to hold this next one. Hold that leg, hip height, go on. Ignore what it's telling you, just keep on holding it. Chris, I can see a lovely smiling face there. Okay, Lydia's got her eyes closed, go for it, girl. And we're going to pulse, little movements. Beautiful, Lucy. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work, guys. Bend that top leg over and give that hip a little bit of a pat. Okay, it always surprises me how quickly these half an hours go. So we're going to go over to the other side and we're going to reset up. So if you remember, we started in sitting and we're going to go for that lovely mermaid stretch. So sorry, you've got one leg out in front, one leg behind, and we reach up and over. You'll realise this is your chance to pause and breathe. So enjoy the sense of lengthening, enjoy the sense of opening. Let's take it to our thread the needle. You might even feel it a little bit in those hips now, as we are sitting those hips in a bit of rotation. Let's come up and over again. And we've just worked those hips on the opposite side. Very nice. And thread through. Good stuff. Okay, let's go for it. So we're going to bring those feet, stack them on top of one another with the knees bent, and we're going to set down in our side prop. Let's just remember that we're pushing through the elbow, pushing through the forearm, and lifting that rib cage away from the mat. As we lift, we're going to continue to lift through that top hip to take those hips up and down and up and down. Option 2, top leg straight and down. Remember, long bodies. Creating length and tension will work those muscle slings a lot harder and you'll get a lot more bang for your buck. Level 3, top legs lifted. Good, and you can come in and out of those levels, so you could try a couple of the harder ones and then drop back down. But wherever we are, we've got 2 more. Good work, guys. 1 more. And then we're going to lift and pulse. Okay, so take it to the top and then halfway down and back up. And halfway down and back up. Little pulses. These are the kickers. These are going to get the heart rate up and they're going to really create that change in strength. If you need to, you could come back down to the knees bent, but we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Come out for a little pause. Just let that shoulder settle. We're almost there, guys. Okay, so we've worked the underside. Let's work the top side. We're setting back up in that side prop. I want to show you the difference in this body position. So this could be a side prop and you think, yeah, I'm doing really well here. I'm lifting my leg, but actually all that's happening is I'm using these muscles. So I'm going to push through the arm. I'm going to push that foot as close as I can towards that wardrobe. I'm going to almost try and touch it. And now I'm going to do my leg lifts and it feels so different. So if you were in class with me now, I'd be pulling your foot away from your body and you'd go, oh, that's how it should feel. So imagine I'm there with you in your living rooms, in your studies, in your bedrooms, wherever you are. Okay, remember we can bend that knee and just focus on lifting the outside of that leg. Okay, let's take it to 2 more. And one more. We're going to hold that there. Check in on your form. Make sure you've not collapsed into that under shoulder. Lift the rib cage, and then we pulse. I'm coming to see you. Lovely, Lauren. 10, 9. Well done, Lucy. Well done, Ashing. Working hard. 6, 5. That's it, Helen. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful work, guys. Some gritted teeth there. Let's all roll onto the backs and take it into a glute stretch. So you can put one foot on the opposite knee and allow that knee to open out. And that might be enough for you to feel that hip, or you can bring the legs towards you and just support behind that knee. That should feel like it hits exactly where you've just worked. So let's just hang out here for a couple of deep breaths. Find that lovely breath right down to the base of your lungs, because we know that every time we exhale, we kind of encourage our nervous system just to let everything give a little bit. Okay, let's swap sides. Set up here, and then if you want to, bring that knee towards you. Good work. Okay, we have a few minutes left. So we've worked the tummies, we've worked the slings along the side of the body. So we're going to go for the back line of the body now. And, oh, sorry. Can you all still see me? Okay, I'm going to carry on. I've lost you, but I think you can still see me. So we're going to finish with our bridge. So back in the rest position. Imagine you're stuck to the mat on a piece of Velcro. So as we started, press the small of your spine into that sponge, but really flatten that sponge and feel your tailbone lift. You've started to peel off that Velcro now, right at the tailbone. So continue to peel off, working up through your spine. Peel, 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 up we go, so that the hips are lifted and you're resting on your feet and shoulders. But try not to collapse into your shoulders. So push your body towards your feet and then smooth your spine back down again. Okay, we've got 6 of these. I'm going to call that 1. So keep working super slow. Try and keep your weight equal through both feet. Take a little glance down when you get to the top. Make sure your pelvis is level. That tray of drinks is back. It's going to spill towards you, but just make sure it's not spilling from side to side. Keep going. Really nice opportunity just to work into that segmental mobility at every level of the spine. So we're challenging the spine to work level by level, rather than lifting as one unit, which is a really nice way of getting things moving. Okay, 2 more. Good work. Okay, 1 more, and we're going to hold this one. So peel up for me. Now, option 1 is to hold. Option 2, as we've done already, we've done our pulses in a few different movements, so we're going to add a pulse here. So take it halfway and then take it back up to the top. And now we can really add a strong connection with those glutes. So as you go up, squeeze your bottom and release. And squeeze and release. And squeeze and release. We've got 6 more. Really squeeze. Get everything you can out of it. Imagine that sponge is now resting between your bottom and you're squeezing that water out that sponge. 4 more. Squeeze and release. This is it, guys. Really squeeze. Hopefully that back of that body's working really hard. 2 more. And 1 more. Squeeze 100%. Push into your heels. See if you can lift your hips a little bit harder. 3, 2, 1, and then smooth your spine back down onto the mat. Hug your knees towards your chest. Maybe even drawing your chin towards your chest so you're hugging like a ball, and gently rock from side to side. And if you want to hang out here for a little bit longer, feel free to do so. I'm going to come back to the computer and see if I can find you, because I did lose you. But hopefully you're all still there. Hopefully you're all still okay. Oh, I've lost you.
Thanks, Harriet.
Yes, I can see people again. Hello.
Cheers.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
Thanks,
you,
Harriet.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Harriet. Bye.
Hands are loose.
Thanks,
Bye.
Harriet.
Bye. Oh.